Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Today's video is episode 18 in the Throwback Thursday series I'm doing using old makeup. Not oogie old, just not talked about old. To mix things up a bit, today I decided to do a full face of old makeup, not just eyeshadow. So hopefully you find this entertaining. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, now's a great time to do that. I upload 4 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If you click on the little bell and choose all, YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video, and then you can choose to watch it or not. Totally up to you, no pressure. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out with me. If that's all I have to yammer about, I'm about to have a very naked face. Brace yourself. All right, here we go, episode 18. Obviously my eyes are primed and taped. If this is your first video here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I tape my eyes because I'm 44 and gravity is a thing. So I may have mentioned already that today is going to be more of a full face of throwback products, but let's start with the eyes. And for this, it's really nothing special, but I really love this palette. It is the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow palette in the shade Truffles. And this is what it looks like. Super basic, but the quality of this, if I remember correctly, was so good. I really liked this. I think it was last summer, which is kind of what I'm basing all of my products on today, are things that I remember really reaching for last summer. And some of this stuff I have not reached for in a very long time. So I'm actually pretty excited about this. I'm gonna go in with this lightest brown shade right here and get that going where I want my transition on a fluffy brush. These shadows are very cool toned, which I am certainly not opposed to. I don't think there's any eyeshadows that I'm opposed to. I just love them all equally. Well, maybe not equally, some more than others, but I feel like I enjoy pretty much all eyeshadows. That's just how I am, I guess. So I'm really excited about this video. I usually just do an older eyeshadow palette, but I thought, let's mix it up a little bit and use products that I really remember loving last year. So I'm excited to see how I feel about all of them now that it's been such a long time and there's so much more on the market. I'm gonna go in with this next darkest shade on a slightly smaller fluffy blending brush. And per usual, put that a little bit lower, but still up on my lid a bit. Obviously, today's look is going to be very simple. Nothing too crazy. Which I feel like a lot of my throwback looks are like that. Like a lot of the older palettes were just really very neutral, which is fine. I'm gonna go back in with that first brush and just blend. Now on a really small like pencil brush, we're gonna go into this black shade right there. It's got some sparkle in it, but I don't believe it'll show on my eye once it's blended. I'm just keeping that on the outer portion of my mobile lid and up into my crease a little bit. I'm gonna use this to kind of wing out the eyeshadow look. And I'm gonna go back in with that second brush and just blend. And now on that first fluffy brush and the first shade, I'm just gonna run over everything. That just smooths everything out really nicely. For the lid, we can either keep it matte and go in with this shade right here, or we can add some sparkle and use this shade. Let's go for a matte look. So we'll go in on a flat shader brush with that first shade we used and blend it into the dark shades. think we'll dip into that second brown as well to mix the black and the lighter brown so we have a nicer transition. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of that black. Just right out here. And then we'll just blend over it. I went in pretty hard. I got a boatload of fallout. All right. I think I need a little bit of shaping right here. All right, now I'm going to line my upper waterline and my lower waterline with the LA Girl Intense Stay Auto Eyeliner in the shade Deepest Brown. I'm going to pop off camera real quick, do my other eye, clean up the mess, and I'll be back and we can do some more. Okay, I'm back. I cleaned up the mess. I did add some liner and my House of Lashes Allure Light Lashes because that's just boring and nobody wants to see that. So my eyelids are done. I'm going to, what to do now? Let's do a foundation next. So I grabbed out my e.l.f. Camo CC Cream in the shade Medium 375N. I used this all the time last summer and I loved it. The only thing I want to switch up is I want to prime my T-zone. I don't know if you've seen the video yet or not. If it's live, I'll link it below in case you missed it. I tried out the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. It was nice as a foundation. I liked it a lot. But yesterday I tried it as kind of like a primer underneath my Makeup Forever HD foundation. And wow, what a combination. So on my Blendiful, I'm just going to do what I did yesterday, which is just pat this in all of the places that I get super oily. I had my makeup on 9 hours yesterday and I was not oily at all at the end of the day. So I am really, really excited about this. I know it looks completely crazy. And this is so far my favorite way to apply it is with Puff. And this is in the shade 6, by the way, in case you're looking for a shade similar to mine. Now we can go in with the foundation. I'm gonna pump a little bit out on the palette. And I honestly don't remember how I liked applying this. I'm just gonna use a dampened beauty blender type sponge and just start patting that all over. So I'm gonna get this blended out all over my face and I will be right back. Okay, 2 pumps did it. I used up everything that was on my palette, so far it looks good over the Yummy Skin Balm. So that's pretty cool. Okay, now for concealer, I used to love this NYX Born to Glow Radiant Concealer. I'm not sure if this shade is too light or not, so we're gonna try it, and if it is, I do have a darker shade. It might be okay. We're gonna go for a super bright look today. I'm gonna use the other side of my sponge just to tap this out. Okay, so far, so good. Now, if you're not new here, this will not be a surprise. My powder is going to be the NJC powder. It always is. This has been a love for years. So on my little puff, I'm gonna press it in where I get the oiliest. And then I'm just gonna pat over the perimeter of my face with whatever's left on the sponge. Let me go back in for my chin. And again, just tap over. Okay, how about we finish up the lower lash line while the powder is sitting there. I'm gonna use that flat shader brush and the darker brown shade and just gently run that under my lower lashes. Per usual, I'm gonna contour with my Kevin Ikwan contour powder, and then I'll be back and we'll do blush, bronzer, and highlight. Okay, for bronzer, I'm going to use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Radiant Bronze Light. I used this so much, so let's see how I feel about it now. I was looking through my purchases from around this time last year, and I really only had this bronzer and maybe one other one. So one of my Ulta purchases was almost entirely bronzers because I needed to broaden my bronzer collection. But this is such a good one if you like a glowy bronzer. It's really pretty. A little over my nose. It's that time of year. I'll drag a little down my neck because my neck never sees sunshine. So yeah, that bronzer's still super good. And the blush I remember really liking is this Wander Beauty blush in the shade Double Date. This was the one I got in BoxyCharm that came with the cream blush and like a lip balm. I don't use the lip balm, but I do like the blush. So I'm gonna use my Rephr number 4, which is what I always use to apply my blush. Gonna dip in. And pat this on. Okay. I couldn't remember how pigmented I thought it was, so I got quite a bit more on there now. Just gonna bring it up under my outer eye area because I just really like how that looks on my nose, per usual. All right, that's still definitely a good one. And for highlight, I had a pretty decent collection, so this was a newish one, but I used it quite a bit because there's quite a bit of wear and tear in there. So I'm gonna go in with the Nabla, and this is in the shade Skin Glaze. Mine did not stay glued into the pan, so I can't really tip it over. It's so pretty. What's going on with my hairs? Not that that blush really needed a highlight, but I like a good highlight, so we're doing it. I'm gonna use my little Rose and Ben E27 to do my Cupid's bow. And my nose. And inner corner. Because this eye look is all matte, I think it needs, it's all matte and it's kind of dark. I think it needs a bit of lightening up on the inner corner. Just take whatever's left on the brow bone area. Okay, now I'm just going to buff over everything with this fluffy brush. I obviously haven't done my brows yet because I remember using the Benefit Brow Styler a lot. And I haven't touched it in so long that when I went to swatch it on my hand, it was dried up. So I had to really like rub to get the dried part off. So I'm gonna whack that into my brows, and then of course my e.l.f. Brow Wow. And then I'll be back and we can wrap this up. All right, I'm back. My lip is a combination of the Dose of Colors lip liner in the shade Hot Ticket and two older lipsticks from the Live Glam subscription I did for a long time. So it's these two for that kind of ombre look. As for the Benefit Brow Styler, you're not gonna get a defined brow with this. This is really more for just filling in. It took me probably 6 or 7 seconds per eyebrow because you're just gonna like whack it in real quick, nothing major. So yeah, I am really happy. All of the face products were great. They're as amazing as I remember them being. The eyeshadow palette, I mean, it's a couple of bucks. If you need a neutral palette, I say grab it. Is it the best formula ever? Nope, but it's good and I'm glad I have it in my collection. I think that wraps up episode 18. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I will of course link everything in the description box that I used today. If it's still available, it'll be down there if you want to take a reconnoiter. All right, be good and remember to be kind to you.